This is English shorthand dictation number 62 and the dictation speed is 160 words per minute. Ready? Start. Sir, we note with some kind of discomfort that tourism does not attract the attention it deserves. The statistics do not go in favor of Honorable Minister. Tourism does not have the share in our income of foreign exchange which it ought to have, given the diversity, the rich culture and the history of our country. Tourism has potential to generate employment opportunities for a large number of educated unemployed youth. Unemployment is the major challenge before us. Unfortunately, the true potential of tourism has not been exploited. It is shocking that countries much less in size, in population, in diversity and in richness of history have been able to promote a tourist-friendly ambience, generate huge income and create employment opportunities only because of their right policies. The ready examples are Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia and other countries. Sir, we conceive and concretize policies and programs, but we fail to pursue and execute them in true spirit. There is always a lackadaisical, indifferent or pathetic attitude which we observe in execution or implementation of the policies. Earlier in the day, I just made a mention of the Sufi circuit, which, though introduced in a much ambitious manner, has not attracted the attention of tourists. The Sufi circuit of Sikkim has not been able to get the benefits that were intended when Sikkim was introduced. We have to pursue tourism in all its dimensions: pilgrimage tourism, health tourism, sports tourism, eco-tourism, adventure tourism and heritage tourism. Unfortunately, that is not being done. I belong to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, which is the most important tourist destination of the country. We welcome 1.5 million pilgrims every year and another 0.5 million tourists from within the country and outside also visit Jammu and Kashmir. But we have not made the right investments in promoting tourism in Kashmir, be it rich Kashmiri cuisine, adventure tourism or pilgrimage tourism. Tourism does not attract adequate attention. If any industry has been worst affected by the recent developments in the state, it is tourism. Tourism industry has suffered a loss of at least rupees 2 lakh crore during last 8 months. The internet blockade has hit it worst, as due to non-availability of internet facilities, it was not possible for the hoteliers to book the tourists and for the tourists to make reservations in hotels and other accommodations. We expected that some kind of big announcement will be made by Honorable Tourism Minister or a rehabilitation package for the worst affected people of the state, that is hoteliers and all others engaged in the tourism industry, but it has not been done. That is very disappointing. This apart, we have some areas that are unaddressed. For example, the third Buddhist conference was held in Kashmir that could be exploited as a good source of pilgrimage tourism. The same is the case with the largest freshwater lake, Wular Lake, which we have in Kashmir. No attention has been paid to exploit its tourism potential. Having said that, it is expected that the Honorable Tourism Minister will come out with some kind of announcement while replying to the debate to ameliorate the tourism industry in Kashmir and come to the rescue of those engaged in the tourism industry. Honorable Chairperson, Sir, tourism has gained unprecedented importance under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, who has made it a mission to showcase the geographical diversity, the rich cultural heritage and the historical legacy of India to the world. Our government has taken another vital step to encourage the arrival of foreign tourists by reducing e-visa fee and GST rates on hotel room bookings. The former initiative led to an impressive growth of 23.8% in the arrival of tourists on e-tourist visas, and we have climbed from rank 41 in 2014 to rank 26 in 2018, which is a huge achievement. I cannot thank our Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Minister enough for this. The vital role a vibrant tourism industry plays in employment generation and economic growth cannot be emphasized enough. Studies show that each tourist contributes to the employment of at least 40 persons directly and indirectly. From a moment a tourist boards the plane to India till the time he goes back to his country, he is giving direct and indirect employment to different sectors like aviation, transport, hospitality, handicrafts, local businesses, retail, arts and crafts and many more. Globally, the tourism industry accounted for 10% of the world's GDP and 10% of all employments in the year 2018. The foresight and innovative thinking of our Prime Minister is manifested in the Swadesh Darshan scheme, which endeavors to develop theme-based tourist circuits that invite the attention of local and international tourists while promoting sustainable infrastructure development and the conservation and promotion of local art and craft. A total of 79 projects for the development of thematic circuits have been sanctioned so far. I would suggest for a state monitoring mechanism for the Swadesh Darshan scheme because sometimes implementation is not very quick. This will really expedite the matter. The Honorable Prime Minister's commitment to providing glimpses of India's magnificence to the world led to the launch of the revamped Incredible India website in June 2018. This interactive site rightly showcases the unparalleled experiences that India offers. It also channelizes the potential of social media, which is extremely important nowadays to boost tourism by encouraging tourists to share pictures and stories of their experiences in India, because tourism is now more about the journey than the destination. While we commend ourselves on our culture and hospitality, we also find ourselves guilty of leaving some of our monuments, historical buildings, and other artifacts in a state of abandon and neglect. To remedy this, the Government of India has proposed the setting up of the Indian Institute of Heritage and Conservation with the status of a deemed university under the Ministry of Culture. This institute will facilitate the preservation of India's heritage by trained professionals along with training of young scholars in conservation and museology. This will be very beneficial because coming from the state of Rajasthan, I know how necessary it is to have trained professionals in this field. I also laud our government for the proposal to develop 5 archaeological sites in iconic places and establish several new museums in the country. These efforts will have the twin benefit of safeguarding our heritage and boosting tourism. Sir, there remain several elements of our heritage, history and culture that are yet to be tapped as potential tourist destination or whose true potentiality is yet to be actualized. For instance, my constituency of Rajsamand is home to many historic sites such as Haldi Ghati, Devar and Kumbhalgarh Fort. 2 of these are UNESCO World Heritage Sites that have witnessed the valor of the legendary Maharana Pratap. These sites can together constitute a tourist circuit that presents to the people of India and the world the glorious history of Mewar. Sir, day tours can be arranged from Udaipur to these places as it will really benefit these areas. Hardly anyone goes there. People go to Udaipur and then they come back. I come from the state which is completely dependent on tourism. Right now, because of the coronavirus, there is absolutely no tourism happening. I have a few suggestions. To ensure hassle-free experience for tourists, especially women travelers, a comprehensive national strategy on safety and security of tourists should be developed, and tourism police should be developed at tourist sites because a lot of women travel alone and this should be a huge comfort to them. Owing to the diverse culture and heritage of each state, I recommend that the future tourism policy be state-specific. Sir, the city of Jaipur is an important tourist destination and it is a matter of great pride that it is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site and it forms part of the famous Golden Triangle. Therefore, it should have more direct international flights, especially to and from European countries and the Far East. Better connectivity should be there in Rajasthan as well as from other parts of India, including our other tourist hubs like Kerala and Goa. Incentives should be given to airlines to encourage them to start these flights. Domestic tourism is the future tourism in India. To attract more tourists, we should aim to make tourist sites more accessible with better air, rail and road connectivity. Rural homestays should be promoted and there should be activities relating to the rural areas so that the tourist can experience our vibrant rural culture as well. The travelers also want to be involved in responsible tourism. They also want to be involved in promoting the local art and craft and the local communities which live there. So there should be ways by which they can get involved with this kind of activities as well. Sir, I am aware that the government has set up a multilingual tourism information helpline, but this has not been properly advertised. The tourists coming to our country should feel safe. Then only they will come in large numbers. But the government is not doing enough in terms of the safety of tourists. Recently, one of the foreign tourists has been kidnapped and a ransom of rupees 2 crore has been demanded for his release. This is very shameful for our country. So I would like to suggest that we must have a crisis management group under the chairmanship of the Cabinet Secretary to coordinate with all the concerned departments so that tourism industry can grow and tourists can feel safe in our country.